Hey guys, we have a crazy video over here when it comes to some PlayStation news, where it seems like right now PlayStation and Sony is trying to go and set up where they can go and sue almost any single PlayStation user or anyone who is trying to go and pirate or utilize anything under the Sony IP. So this also comes down to, let's say, things like anime, because don't forget Sony now does own Crunchyroll, Funimation, or as well if anyone's pirating games. That does happen quite often, say on any type of PlayStation game that has gone on to Steam. Think like Spider-Man, God of War, any future PlayStation game. Think like Helldivers if people are trying to run like private servers. There is a lot of stuff, especially once files end up online, which is maybe why a lot of these companies don't like doing that. That's a separate story for a separate video. But right now there's a huge legal battle where PlayStation is trying to get the right to sue everyone they can. Now, to also go and not necessarily fearmonger, because I'm sure most normal users are not going to be too affected by this, I would hope, but still it is somewhat concerning nonetheless. There is also people out there too, they do try to sue, such as people who are hacking and like breaking the terms of service from games, say Destiny. Bungie's gone through so many different lawsuits and has actually won in court many times. So people are a little bit like skeptical and giving a little bit of like a scrunchy eye, kind of curious what's going on. Let's talk about it. Subscribe if you guys are new. We have the brand new giveaway going on for the PS5 Pro and other various things, so make sure you guys are subscribed here. Second YouTube account that we've been doing drama on, especially just because if you guys like drama, I've been doing a lot of stuff over there, check it out. And of course as well, the just Twitter itself. So this has been a big one, where we have two different things over here where number one, Sony is trying to make it so if you pirate any of their media, your entire internet would just be completely shut down. Oh, I'm sure you guys mostly know this. Pirating is basically like, let's say you go and find a movie you like. You download it off of online so you can watch it, etc. It's all good to go. Or as well, when it comes to music, let's say you're just downloading music, you're pirating music. Let's go and say you're just, I don't know, you're downloading a game. Basically, the whole idea is that this is like a Sony higher up situation, like Sony, the company itself. And if they can win this, and this is where like, even if I mention PlayStation, it's relevant. If they win this lawsuit, then they have actual proper court, like discussed, like basically repercussions for anyone who may do this for any of their other things, such as say pirating their video games, which is probably a bigger deal at the end of the day, but I think music's a little bit easier. It kind of sets a precedent. So if you guys don't know that much on legal law, I'm sure I just hopefully explained it okay. Let's say you do a court case, someone's like stealing from you or pirating your media, say anime or music, which is very easy to prove. Because you're just like, someone has it on their computer, they're hosting on a separate website, you have it like illegally downloaded, like remember like Napster back in the day, or doing torrents, whatever. And then you have that, you win that precedent in court. And then say you're a video game company and someone's pirating your game or emulating your game when there are PlayStation emulators out there. Then they use that same argument saying, hey, we just spent $100 million on the Supreme Court Justice and like the 3rd District of New York over here to set this copyright law. Let's just copy and paste this because it's their same IP, same idea, same premise, just with gaming instead. So basically, people are calling out already. Like, we'll get into the story in a second, but people are like, so let me get this straight. Sony and others get to steal our data and sell it, but if we go do it, it's a crime. This won't happen. Internet companies here will laugh at that. But that's kind of the big thing is they do, people do want to say they have a permissionless economy. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's go talk about the news. We'll talk about internet stuff in a second. Supreme Court is now hearing $1 billion battle over online piracy. Media groups say internet companies are liable for users' illegal downloads. As billions of people worldwide use the internet to illegally stream or download copyrighted material like music, movies, and TV shows, the entertainment industry is trying to crack down on America's internet service providers for complicity in the alleged crimes of their customers. This is basically them trying to say, hey, Comcast, Verizon, AT&T, Google Fiber, whatever you might have. We want you to work with us if someone's trying to steal stuff from us. Music, video games, movies, streaming, whatever it might be, because we make money on that. Like Sony makes money on Crunchyroll. Sony makes money on every software sale from the PlayStation 5. If people look at Wolverine. The Wolverine game got rehosted everywhere when it had all those big leaks, and people were like modding it and making multiplayer versions of the game, and like they just had the files. They can do anything they want. A major case before the Supreme Court on Monday could determine whether those providers can be held financially liable to the tunes of hundreds of millions of dollars for contributing to copyright infringement if they fail to cut off internet access to any account suspected of engaging in piracy. This is basically them saying, hey, Comcast, I have Comcast. I hate Comcast. If you go and you allow this, you're like basically the bystander. Like your own users like us are walking into like a store, they're robbing the store, and you're just sitting there being like, because like you're the Uber driver. I don't think I necessarily agree on this. Like, I think if stuff ends up online, I don't think it's the internet's fault. And I also don't like, it's just one of those things that's just the way of the internet. People are always going to find a way to pirate stuff and do stuff. Just make it easily accessible for normal people, and don't be spending all these millions of dollars on lawyers to try to push it all, because it just doesn't seem like it's going to be a win at the end of the day. So this is going to be a huge case all for copyright infringement. Cox Communications, the third largest broadband provider in the US and a party in the case, faces a $1 billion penalty award by a judge to Sony Music Entertainment and other media companies that sued over the distribution of pirated content online. It was upheld, though, in the federal appeals court. The company is asking to the justices to toss out the verdict and put limits on the contributory liability. Basically saying like, hey, it's not our fault, like Sony's going crazy here. If the judgment is upheld, Cox says it could go bankrupt, potentially eliminating internet access entirely in some communities and leading to mass evictions from the internet in places where piracy has been suspected, such as homes, barracks, hospitals, and hotels upon bare accusation alone. Cox says it oppresses copyright infringement and takes steps to prevent it, but that it cannot be held responsible for the actions of individual users who are impossible to pinpoint and trace. Your internet service provider does not purposely participate in or try to bring you what you do online any more than your phone company or FedEx do in communications they transmit, Cox attorneys wrote. So they basically, the internet providers are trying to say like, hey, we're just giving you the access to it all. We're not here to like patrol stuff, censor stuff, etc. And this is where I'm kind of actually agreeing with this. I don't want companies like Sony, although Sony may not be the worst, to know what my online access is, or as well using this as an uproot to have Comcast, Cox Internet, Google Fiber, whatever, have more information than they already have. I don't want to give out more information or have them have these weird online safeguards patrolling what I'm looking for online. That's never what the online should have been in the first place. Like, it's crazy. So federal law makes it a crime to directly infringe on a copyright. The secondary liability by another party involved in copyright infringement, such as internet service providers, remains an evolving area of law. Basically, this is still a gray area, so Sony does have a case. PlayStation has a case overall, but as you guys can see, people are not feeling this. Like, they basically were they're saying they're making their own profits instead of complying with the law, and that they want to go, they were basically supplying all these means for people online to go and download stuff, saying that there is nearly 19 billion downloads of pirated movies and TV shows and were in 2023 alone. And has cost more than $29 billion and hundreds of thousands of jobs, that Sony's arguing. Now, they do have a point, I would agree, but I'd also want to say on the reverse end, I always thought the main idea is that if someone's pirating, they probably would not go and buy it in the first place. They don't see the service as worthwhile, or they just think it's just dumb. Or as well, part two of that all is that if the service is not provided in a meaningful fashion. So let's say you want to go and watch an anime, and for some odd reason it's not on Crunchyroll, but they own the IP. Maybe a good example is all of the all these games. There's so many dormant game IPs that no one's using. Think like Guitar Hero, think Jack and Daxter, think things like Sly Cooper. You know, there's so many games like Spyro. There's a lot of IPs that are not always actively being utilized. And that's when also people are concerned. Like, if it's not, like, look at all the Nintendo games, old school Nintendo games, GameCube games. If they're not easily accessible, then people will just emulate and get them anyway. It is what it is. Like, this, it is what it is. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious what you guys think, because it does seem like Sony wants to make it able to sue us all. Like, this is literally the whole point. They want to make it so individuals are liable. And this does pertain, like I said, to the PlayStation. If you go and get a game on, say, Steam, and you go and you have like these files, and maybe you go and emulate it, maybe you go and download it, it's going to be all like just a big struggle. And even people in these threads are not cool with this too as well. Like, look, they're just calling these people greedy, that anyone would buy everything pirated. I would agree to as well. Both of them, it won't go anywhere. No ISP is going to do it. But it is at the Supreme Court right now, and that does make things a little bit more sketchy just to see. And this is a lot more companies besides Sony, but Sony is the one getting the calls. And a lot of people are not with this. Like everyone's calling out PlayStation saying this is wrong. I think I would have to agree. Give your thoughts and comments down below, or subscribe if you guys are new. Leave a like or dislike or whatever. Check out all the affiliate links and of course their second channel, the giveaway and stuff as well. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching here in the first place.